Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Good afternoon, Bellows Falls, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty. Here we are again. Welcome back.
Trying to find our cameras.
Trying to figure out what camera we're supposed to be looking at. Everything changes every week. Quick shout out to Sue Smith. Happy birthday. Yay. Today we have Charlie Hunter and Jen Heidbrink with us. And we're going to be talking about the Bellows Falls Opera House, what's happening currently, sort of the transition plan, and then where it's going to go in the future. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
So, you want to introduce Jen?
I do. So I was looking, I always look every week for local events, and actually all of the local events this week that I've seen posted on Facebook have to do with the Bellows Falls Opera House. So coincidentally, we have Jen Heidbrink here from the Bellows Falls Opera House. So tell us how it's been going for the Bellows Falls Opera House, what you've been up to.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for having us. So we are currently, we're getting ready to open up. Our big opening date is the 17th of October, and we've just announced that we'll be showing Mamma Mia. And we are getting everything together. I'm sorry, that's my 4-year-old.
That's fine.
We are getting everything ready for to be COVID compliant. We're looking at a cashless option. Doing cards. We are marking, our 6 feet distancing. We are so excited, and that's kind of what we've been working on at the theater. We've also been working on partnering with the Rockingham Rec for some shows and some fun events as well. We've just released today, actually, our poster. October 3rd, we're going to be showing Austin Powers up at the Rec. And we're asking everybody to come dressed up in their best 60s attire. And we'll be doing some giveaways during these events. We're going to be doing on October 10th, we're going to be showing the movie Sing. And we're going to host our first online singing contest for kiddos. And we have 2 specific age groups that I'm not quite sure off the top of my head what they are, but stay tuned on our Facebook page for that. And then on October 24th, we're going to be showing Hocus Pocus. And we're asking people to come dressed up in their Halloween costumes, and we're going to be giving away some fun prizes there as well. So those are some exciting things we have going on.
That's
to get
great.
everybody pumped up for the opening.
So you've been, even before these things you've been doing, though, you've been doing a lot of things to kind of keep the movie theater alive. You've been doing the triple ups, and how did it go when you partnered up with Athens Pizza?
It went splendidly. I mean, we had a lot of families come who some of them never have had triple ups before, and then other families came who we see every week when we have the curbside triple up. I believe we ended up making around $950. That's selling everything from triple ups to merchandise, to those big bags of popcorn. We've just been really wanting to get the word out that we're still here, we're still part of the community. We've been very active on our Facebook page. That's one thing that we're really trying to push right now, is to have everybody join the Facebook page. We're doing a bunch of giveaways every week. We have Tim's terrific Tuesday trivia, where we give away merchandise, triple ups. Tim Heidbrink is our interim manager right now, and so he does a trivia question every week, and we like to engage people that way as well.
So,
and Jen, just what is the Facebook page? What is the name of the Facebook page?
So it is Bellows Falls Opera House, and there's also a Friends of Bellows Falls Opera House. We post in both places.
And so people should like and follow those 2 pages, right?
Absolutely, yes, please.
oh, I lost my train of thought on the question. So if you have a
No, go
question,
ahead.
I lost my train of thought.
All right. Well, I guess my question is beginning, do you have a pretty good idea how seating is going to be, or is that still a work in progress, or how people are they gonna buy tickets ahead of time and then like reserve tickets and then have you pick out your seats and that sort of idea like you would at a concert, or?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now we are working on doing assigned seating. I know that's not the best case scenario, but because we have to have 3 seats between each party,
Mhm.
it's we can't easily just let people in. We have to really make sure that things stay coordinated and in a structured way. So we're going to have everybody line up in front of the theater like you would normally, and then we're going to have people buy their tickets, and if they want concessions, we'll have them come inside. I believe we can have 5 people in the lobby on up the stairs, and then I believe another 4 people down right when you open the door. And so we're gonna sell concessions that way, and then if you don't want concessions, you'll get your ticket. I guess you get your ticket anyway with the seat number, and you're gonna go down to the alleyway, and you're gonna go in that way, and there'll be a usher there helping everybody into their seats.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That is
Yeah,
a good
that's
idea.
well thought out. Very good.
So this has probably been, like for everything, this has probably been a lot of work coordinating.
Yes, yeah, it's been the coordinating the different pieces have been, but we also are putting a lot of time and energy into our marketing and really building different strategies to partner with businesses and partner with individual people to try to get more sponsorship, as well as kind of thinking outside the box and moving in a different direction than what we have previously. So we're not only trying to get those safety pieces into play, but we're also, looking for sponsors and pushing the marketing and things like that.
So is it too early to ask, like, if you wanted to sponsor a movie, how would you go about doing that?
It is never too early. Never,
That's
ever. So we actually, on our Facebook page, we do have the contact information for our interim manager. We're asking that people email or call, and I have a Google Doc that I'm sharing with people, and it lists all of the different types of sponsorship, as well as the pricing and what it entails.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
But like I was thinking in terms of sponsoring a movie, is that how that's working? So like if the movie that's on the 17th, Mamma Mia, there's a sponsor for that movie, right? And then do they pick the movie, or do they just, you say we're showing Mamma Mia, who wants to sponsor it?
Yeah, so so in past years, it's really been like fill out the form, you can choose your movie. We're trying to make it more of an interactive experience now, going to the movies, and so I'm hoping to work with the person or business who wants to sponsor, either finding the movie that they want, or we're hoping to have theme nights.
Yeah,
So if you're interested, like we're hoping to have a baseball theme night, and maybe find somebody who has some baseball memorabilia to bring it in, and do different things like that. So I'd be open to either, if you have a specific movie in mind, we can work that way. If it's available, a lot of the movies right now aren't giving out their licensing because there's like Disney Plus, there's Netflix, so there's not a super ton of movies available, but I would certainly be willing to work with that person.
Well, I could just see where it might work both ways, where there might be some people who were like, oh, I really like this movie, but there might be other group of people who were like, well, I would really like to sponsor, but I have no clue what movie. And so it sounds like you can work with both types of people. If someone just says, well, it's a really nice project, but I don't understand, I don't know what movie to do, you could go, well, why don't we do this? And we could do this theme night, and this is how it would work. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a ban right now, or is it hard to get first run movies? Are there any first run movies coming out now?
So basically, there are new movies coming out right now. We're finding that a lot of the older movies are actually doing better than the newer movies. So, you know, right now we're thinking about those 90s movies like Titanic. We chose Austin Powers. So we're kind of focusing on those. Our booker did tell us that right now a lot of the Disney movies and Fox are kind of off limits. So we have to work around that. The other piece of it is right now we're only going to be open every other weekend, and we'll have 3 showings of a movie. It'll be the same movie because it's a $250 licensing fee. So we'll only be showing 1 movie, but 3 times per weekend that we're open. So we're asking that that the person would think about that as well. That if we do want a popular movie in there to get people in, so there's that.
So it sounds like, and this is maybe the segue point where we bring Charlie in to talk about kind of the overarching future of the Opera House, and the idea that it's come a time that maybe movies, you can still get movies, but maybe they don't pay the rent as much as they used to, and you have to think about expanding into other venues of entertainment or other forms of entertainment. So would this be a good time for Charlie to tell us a little bit about future things possibly happening with the Bellows Falls Opera House?
I think it would be.
Sure. So RED came about, the idea of Rockingham Entertainment Development, which is the nonprofit entity that is seeking to enter into a lease with the town. It came about because I personally, and I think a lot of other people in town, realize that the town itself should not be attempting to program a movie theater and arts venue. The town manager and the select board have a full plate of things to be working on. And what is happening now, especially with COVID and now post-COVID, the landscape is radically changing. The big studios are learning, with everybody getting very, very good internet service, the need for small town single screen movie theaters is, as far as the studios are concerned, is less and less important. So we are not in a position of power. So we need to be able to be very nimble. We've got to keep the role of the Bellows Falls Opera House is to serve the community. And we're going to keep affordable movies. But exactly what's that going to look like? Nobody knows. And I've got a background in arts management. Jen and Tim and Bank Sean, everybody's named Sean. If you can't remember somebody's name, it's Sean. Jen and Tim and Bank Sean and all of the people who work at the Opera House have this incredible depth of knowledge about how things work there. RED is not going to tell these people how to do their jobs. We're here to help build systems so that the ticketing, it'll be probably a post-COVID when we get going. So at some point in 2021, we will probably have a ticketing system where people can reserve their tickets. You can reserve the seating they want. Even if there are COVID restrictions still in place, the system that we're looking at will automatically book, the 3 seats on either side of that unit of tickets. We'll be working with local theatrical organizations, scheduling live events so as not to conflict with the blockbuster movies that are coming out. Basically what we're seeing our role as being is that of a facilitator to make the Opera House do exactly what we as citizens of Rockingham know that the Opera House does beautifully, and that is provide affordable entertainment and a affordable venue for both for the customer and for presenters. The possibilities are super exciting, and I just feel so blessed that the board of Rockingham Entertainment Development is Marty Gallagher and Sean Long, both local Bellows Falls people who know the community, who know what the expectations, and they're aware of both the potential and the reality of where we are. And then to be so blessed to have Tim and Jen and all the Seans being part of this is just, it's super exciting.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think that, initially you had some resistance, I think, when an article came out in the Brattleboro Reformer, and I think, Jen, you stepped up to the plate, and you've been hosting some Zoom meetings to answer questions. How have those meetings been going?
I think they've been going great. People are asking really great questions, and I feel like it's not only are they hearing us, but we're hearing them as well. And I have to say, Charlie, when we talked about this in the beginning, it's more of an expansion, I think, than a change, right? We're not changing anything, we're not getting rid of anything, but we're expanding what the Bellows Falls Opera House can do. And I think that's important for people to understand, that it's an expansion on something that everybody, myself, neighbors, the community loves.
Right, exactly. I mean, long term, also one of the things that I think is bears thinking about is what is it going to look like in 5 years? What's it going to look like in 10 years? So working with Jen and Tim and all the Seans, we're kind of doing a build out of what we think. How do we shepherd this incredible facility for the next generation? The thing that's great, Jen and Tim are the generation after me, but then we've got to be thinking about the generation after them. And long term, I think one of the crucial things is going to be to get the lower theater really functional as a second screen, so you can have the quirkier movies. You can have a live event going on down there and the movie going on upstairs, or have a live event upstairs and the movie going on downstairs. It increases the flexibility. The thing that's funny for people who may not be familiar about how this actually works, the thing that actually generates money is concession sales. Everything else, basically, you're looking to cover your expenses and hopefully make a little bit, but the concessions are what sells. It are what provides your liquidity. And think about if we had 2 movies. You have your blockbuster movie going upstairs, and then a half hour later, the quirkier movie downstairs. That's the second audience to sell concessions to. And it does not require that much more labor. If you've already got your concession workers, your ticket sellers, it would require somebody to be downstairs to make sure people are not stealing the furniture. But there are all these things that I think we can do to really improve the bottom line. Also, to save the taxpayers considerable money while still doing exactly what people want from the Opera House.
Well, I think it also, it's, the Opera House is kind of a cornerstone of the downtown, and it does bring people into town. It helps the merchants. It helps, I know there was a lot of feedback from the local merchants when there's live productions, how, the restaurants benefit. And sounds like the way you are approaching it, especially what Jen was talking about, is you're really looking to partner with those businesses. And I think that's an even greater bond, an even greater, making it an even greater cornerstone, and just, really working together.
I agree, yeah. I would just, because there's rumors about and everything, who will own the Opera House? That's a basic question. Who will own the Opera House when all
Not
this
me.
happens?
I will not own the Opera House.
We thought it was
I thought it was
you.
you.
We were for sure thought it was you going to own the Opera House.
The town of Rockingham The town of Rockingham owns the town hall, which includes the Opera House, the Lower Theater, and the town offices.
Oh.
The town owns it, the town is always going to own it. It's a lease. It's just like leasing a storefront. You know, it's just leasing the Opera House space.
Okay.
And, you know, there's concern of, I've heard concerns that once the lease is signed, then, you know, you could totally change the programming. That would be crazy on any number of levels, because we live in this town that is not a wealthy town. You could not, even if someone wanted to, if you changed it to all live events and got rid of the movies, you would go out of business so quickly, because we don't have the population density to support something like that.
Right.
Then there is concern that as soon as the lease is signed, the ticket price is going to go through the roof. Well, in the lease that we are working on, it's not yet presented, but there are markers and there are things saying the ticket price is not going to, we've got to keep the ticket price, and I forget what the percentage is, it's like 75% of first run movies in the surrounding area. You know, we're going to keep the iconic triple up. You know, there are protections that are going to be in that lease. It is not being taken out of the hands of the town.
Actually, it's being put in the hands of the town. I would say it's being put in the hands of the people of the town, as opposed to the town government. That it's the people of the town who have come forward voluntarily out of interest because they like the theater. They're volunteering their time without pay to do these things. I would say that it's actually the control is going to the people. But that's just me.
I believe Tim is right now he's getting compensated for being the interim manager.
Yeah.
But yes, the board, the Rockingham Entertainment Development, is volunteer. And certainly Tim and Jen and all the Seans are putting in huge amounts of volunteer time as well. It's a group of people who are invested in that space and really love that space. And it's very, very moving to me to see their dedication and concern and love for the facility and for the town.
Okay, we have about 2 minutes left. In that time, how can people help? How can the people that are watching this show right now help this forward? I'll leave that to either of you.
I would say, and Jen can follow up on this, but I would say the most important things are to, if you have very limited income, just like the Facebook pages and follow along and keep aware of what we're up to. If you've got a little extra scratch, look into doing a sponsorship of one of these movies during this. We don't know how long this is going to be with this, with the COVID protocols in place. And we're going to need, I say we, the Bellows Falls Opera House is going to need people stepping up and doing the underwriting. Long term, once RED is fully established as a nonprofit, we are certainly going to be soliciting memberships, basically sustaining memberships, just as people do with, you know, public radio or any organization, you know, $10 a month, you know, whatever. But that's a little bit down the pike. The important thing right now is to get behind what Jen and Tim are doing with current stuff at the Opera House.
Good. Well, thank you, Charlie, and thank you, Jen.
Do we have time for Jen to at least tell us the phone number and the email address for sponsorship information?
I think we do.
Yes, so it is the bfoh@rockbf.org. Please email that address for any information. I apologize, I don't know the number off the top of my head, Tim's cell phone, but like the Facebook page for sure, that has all of the information that we need. And I need to give a shout out to all of the staff that are volunteering their time. They've come in Saturdays, Sundays, whenever I ask them to help clean, to help sell triple ups. I wouldn't want to say their names because there's so many of them, but I cannot leave here without just showing my gratitude for all of those people that are just stepping up. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Jen.
Well, thank you both.
Marty. And I think that's it for this week.
It is. Time flies fast here on
Yeah,
this
it
week.
does. We have to do an hour show. But thank you, and we'll see you next week, Rockingham. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.